today is tired. The system that has presided over its creation are out of breath. Those who control the system are very busy extending its expiration, its end. So we are in a moment where we are fortunate to be able to witness the unraveling of one era and the dawning of a new one. Because either we are well-to-do or we have been gone through consciousness exercise or awareness that we can see things are coming to an end. And now it doesn't mean an end with nothing else coming. So we are in winter in terms of humanity's progress. And it's up to each individual to imagine what will replace this one. How can we each in our own way usher the spring? And so that winter is not simply the end, but the beginning of something new, like trees or something we learn from nature. That's something you have to say goodbye to. I said, how could I? I'm an expert, I'm informed of this. I know this title, I'm supposed to know.
What is needed in your view to bring about those changes we would love to see? A loving, flourishing world.
It's precisely to go through these inner journeys that we're not trained to do. You know, you go to a school, they teach you subjects. They don't develop you as a person. They don't encourage you to go in within. It's not in the curriculum. Because the curriculum is based on a particular system of doing. And so an exercise like the Spirit of Humanity exercise, where it creates a safe space for like-minded and like-hearted people to safely go inside and open up, is critical for developing the imaginal cells that will inhabit the composting caterpillar, which is the current system, so they can, if they coalesce, they can become the imaginal cells that would make the transformation from the winter we're living now into the spring that we are basically seeing appearing over the horizon. And so what you're doing is critical. And since we are benefiting from it, personally I have, it gives a particular responsibility, as I mentioned earlier, to increase the level of awareness. Because once you have uncovered the power within, you have to power with others in order collectively to have the power to change. So an experience like this is unique, because this is not an ashram where you go and meditate. This is asking people how they can transform themselves from inside out in order to shoulder their part of responsibility at this critical moment for humanity's transition to usher a different world, where a world that has been cleansed, healed from the illusion of separation, for example. There are so many other illusions, but that's one of them.
I would love just to hear from you a little bit about your experience. We now, the Spirit Humanity Forum, have partnered up with the Wellbeing Economy Forum. We were in Harpa yesterday with the president as like the first step of this collaboration into the future. So how you see that, and also the role of the president speaking about love, and maybe the role of Iceland as well.
I think in terms, as I alluded to earlier, strength is in numbers, but in numbers of people who have leverages. Obviously, some of us who are seekers of inner awareness, we may or may not have leverage, and the system is more likely to listen to people with credible experience that have been enlightened. So your president represents that. And I have had the pleasure of meeting her, like with you, all of you, yesterday. And I've asked her, how can she multiply the midwives like herself? And she said she's working on it, and I'm sure she is. Because she's not constrained by the shortism of elections, by the shortism of running. She's freer to be talking about love, to be talking about friendship, to be talking about hope. So I see her as an entrepreneur of hope. And entrepreneurs, as you know, they try to innovate, and they're ready to accept failure. So we need more of those people who are entrepreneurs of hope. And hope is not optimism, as you've heard her say. It's an action. And so if she can continue, in my humble view, if I may suggest, through this opportunity you give me, continue to bring around in a small community of like-minded, like-hearted leaders like herself. And they have a manifesto that they write to other leaders. And to say, this is how we see why peace and love is what we need as the new currency, as the new passport for this transition from what is to what if.
If we take Iceland, because we started there, how would you then see the position of Iceland in everything that you have been explaining here? That what in your opinion is important for Iceland to do? And we are here in Iceland with the Spirit of Humanity Forum and the Wellbeing Economy Forum and many people that really want to nurture peace.
I think we'll start with the small 11 countries that the president has mentioned, for example.
Yeah.
She's saying that these 11 countries that have come together have some economic weight, and therefore people can listen. The current system, they have enough credibility and weight for the current system to listen to. So to answer your question, it'd be wonderful if within these well-being economic, there would be this type of fledgling relationship between, that I see, between the Spirit of Humanity and the Wellbeing Economy Forum. Imagine in each country this happens. And Iceland has that experience. Imagine, even just in the Nordic countries. Because we need some lighthouses. In Arabic, we call it manara, which means the house of the light. So we need some lighthouses, some compasses to show us the north, so to speak. And it can only be from inner. Once you have discovered the inner compass, then you would say, okay, how are you going to use politics and business and academia and education, etc., etc.? So that would be wonderful if Iceland could facilitate that type of leadership.